So this is one of those days where just not feeling it. Some days I feel like I can run like the wind effortlessly. Everything functions smoothly. Legs move right, joints move right. And there's days like today where I feel like I'm in the damn Special Olympics. I don't know if this will make sense at all, but I know, or at least I strongly suspect, that when I'm working out on a day like today, when I'm not feeling it, when it's really hard, I feel like I'm probably gaining more or doing better good than, oh, here we go. What do you think of that? Been there a while. Anyway, I feel like I'm gaining more, doing myself more good if I push it really hard when I'm just not feeling it. So like on these steps, wasn't all that bad. The first 100, I wasn't pushing it all that hard. And as I went, you know, blood flow seemed to work better, muscles were warm, breathing was easier, joints were working better, so that wasn't too bad. When I got up to 100 and shit, my legs were so weak and wobbly, and I kept thinking they feel like spaghetti. And so, you know, talking about black holes, just what the hell is this guy talking about? Anyway, if you think about black holes and you do a thought experiment about what happens if you fall into a black hole. So on Earth, you know, we're at the surface, the force of gravitation is whatever it is, 10 meters per second. So that's for the size of Earth and the size of humans, whether we're in the center of the Earth on the surface or 50 miles up, pretty much the same thing. You know, if you're the force of gravity is pretty much the same thing. In other words, there isn't much of a gradient where force of gravity increases. It's there as you travel towards the center of the Earth. It does increase, but as far as our perception goes, it's infinitesimal. We don't notice it. We can't notice it. It's not enough of an increase. So if you're falling into a black hole, though, the gradient is so steep that if you get within the event horizon radius where you're captured and you start falling into the black hole, you're standing vertical or perpendicular to the plane of the surface of the black hole, which doesn't make all that much sense, but anyway, like you're standing upright on the surface of Earth. The gradient is so steep that gravity is much, much higher at your feet than at your head. And it's so much higher and increases at such a quick rate that before your whole body can catch up, it starts to become elongated. It gets pulled out like a piece of spaghetti, and some people have called that spaghettification. And again, it's just a thought experiment. Nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever observed anything falling into a black hole, but that's what the science seems to indicate. So, off on that big stupid tangent, my legs were feeling spaghettified. Not because they were getting stretched, but because they felt like, I mean, the muscles felt like they had the strength and consistency of cooked spaghetti. But that was just this kind of goofy subjective feeling, because in fact they didn't, and in fact I was able to do 50 more flights of steps, which was really nice. And in some ways it was really hard, but it was more hard from a willpower sense really than a physical sense. I mean, my legs felt in my mind like they were shot, but they weren't. They felt really tired, and they were tired, but I still had plenty of energy. It's just that I wasn't at peak energy. And so I just persevered, which is what you do, you know, in order to make gains. And so I made some kind of a gain today. What it adds up into in the long run, who the hell knows? I don't know. Felt good. It's good for me. And then one other thing I was going to mention is that the other night I came, okay, scratch that, let's go back a little bit further. Some time ago I talked about, I don't know, it's been a year or two ago, on the blog I talked about falling down and you know, just executing an automatic parachute landing, follow PLF, because I was trained to do that. I spent a lot of time training to do that. Developed the muscle memory for whatever reason never left. I started falling down, realized I was gone, executed PLF, popped to my feet. Felt good. Everybody was terribly concerned, because when old people fall, it's like a tragedy. And but I wasn't hurt. So anyway, the other night I came home and went to feed the dog, and I stepped out on the porch. I didn't turn the porch light on. I had dog food in one hand and water dish full of water in the other hand. But stepping down off the steps, I stepped onto a patch of ice, and my, hi doggy, and I slipped, you know, my feet shot out from under me. Well, actually, I'm not even sure I can recreate it in my mind, but my right foot went clear out, and my left foot did a little bit of tap dancing on the ice. And then that complicated business of maintaining balance, I was able to maintain balance and not fall down, although I did spill the dog food in the water, and it made me mad, because it embarrassed me, and that made me mad. So anyway, one of the things I read at some point not too long ago was that one of the key indicators of continued good health in older people is leg strength. And part of what makes that a key indicator is that the stronger your legs are and the more you use them, the better your balance and coordination, and the better you are able to keep yourself balanced and prevent falls, which could be injurious. And so sometimes when I wonder what's this worth, all of this ass busting working out, that's one of the answers. And seems to, in some sense, I can take that as a positive indicator. I didn't fall down. I didn't get hurt. I was able to maintain my balance. It came as a complete shock and surprise that I was slipping and falling, because I didn't know that ice was there. And another person in advanced post-middle age who had less strong legs and less good balance might have fallen down and become severely injured, and I didn't. So for what it's worth, that's what it's worth.